Hello, CFA Nation. Gabe, hold on.
Nick.
And
Asjad.
There we go. Oh, man. And we are here for another installment of R3 Wickets. That's right, people. I got to say, all right, mini rant right from the beginning. If you in the chat, unless you're a Pakistan fan, listen, you blood and born over there, who actually saw this result coming, stop it. All right? Stop it. Okay? No way. You can't make this up. You can't. Even when I picked the teams, I said, all right, let me be strategic about this. No, because Nick and I got no skin in the game on this one, right? He rocks with England. He rocks with India. So whenever they play, that's who he's going to go with. I rock with Australia. I rock with West Indies. So no matter who they go against, that's our side. But when we pick other sides, we could be strategic about it. I picked first just to be strategic about it. And I said, man, I said, wait a minute. Did you see what Australia just, not Australia, I'm sorry. You see what South Africa just did in their last game? 600. They didn't even need a last inning. Bro, what's going on? The dark cloud is following me. You can't make this up. Even when South Africa went down for 220 in the first inning, Nick, I said to myself, they'll still come back and, they'll pull it out in the second inning. And then last night, I look on my phone while I'm on my deathbed, literally, because I was sick. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I just was just disgusted, bro. Disgusted in myself, man. Go out and play the lotto, Nick, because it's unbelievable, bro. Unheard of.
Me and Asjad had a great time. I had a great time. I'm hoping he had a great time on our stream last night because, it was just like wickets were falling. We had great comments. We had great viewers. It was just a beautiful thing. Runs were being scored when they switched sides. It was fantastic. But I was telling Asjad yesterday, I'm like, honestly, it's getting to the point where I just can't beat down on Gabe anymore. Like, I still care about the guy. This guy needs a win desperately. Speaking of Asjad, we got Asjad here today with us for R3 Wickets because he is a Pakistan fan. Gabe said we don't have too much skin in the game. The skin I have in the game is the winning side. That's why I chose Pakistan beforehand. Asjad, in case anyone doesn't know, first of all, tell us who you are. Tell us where we can find you on YouTube and let us know your initial thoughts.
Right. So I'm Asjad. I have a YouTube channel called Cricket for Us 2.0. Please do check it out. It has been an amazing journey, especially with CFA family, Nick, Gabe, everyone. Fantastic. And what my initial thoughts are, this was proper classical test match cricket for me, right? You had ups and downs. You had ebbs and flows. You had everything you could possibly expect from a test match. You had the ball reversing. You had spinners spinning the ball. You had batsmen trying to play deliveries, which they really should be leaving, and then getting an edge and then getting dropped because it's Pakistan, right? You're going to see things like that. You see seaming deliveries, see swinging deliveries, left armers, right armers, everything you could possibly expect from a subcontinental subcontinent match. You got it.
Asjad, let me ask you a question.
That's beautiful.
Let me jump in here right now. Let me ask you a question. All right. We got a saying because we're from Vegas right here. All right. And Nick's not a gambling man, but a lot of people in Vegas are. And after Babar Azam went out early, cousin, even though South Africa only scored 220, would you have bet the mortgage on the fact that would you have bet the mortgage? Honestly, I would have still bet the mortgage on South Africa, especially after Babar Azam went out early. I was like, what? Oh, we're good. We're good, cousin. Were you confident that Pakistan was going to win? Would you have bet the mortgage on Pakistan after Babar Azam went down? Be honest. Be honest.
I'll be honest. I said Pakistan was going to lose this game, right? I actually thought Pakistan was going to lose. They were going to get absolutely battered. And when that Babar Azam wicket fell, I was like, right, so it's actually going to happen, right? Something that I predicted is going to come true. But thankfully, we had Nick with us to help us out with his good luck charm, bringing it all in. And then that spectacular partnership between the guys we're going to talk about later, but that partnership between Azhar Ali and Fawad Alam with three different batsmen, right? He scored 350 partnerships that entire innings and just settled it for Pakistan. So I did not think Pakistan was going to win, but I'm really glad they did.
You know what? It was looking bad. It was, even though they had I feel a great bowling first inning against South Africa. South Africa got 220, was all in the first inning. It could have been way worse. Like Gabe said, we've seen 600 before, easily against Sri Lanka, it seemed. But when they went down 27 for 4, it was like, I was telling Ozja this yesterday, like, it kind of reminded me a little bit of India, Australia, just because you had what seemed like the impossible happening. Now, imagine if South Africa had gotten to like 400 in the first innings and then Pakistan 27 for 4, and they were able to come back. That would probably be even more amazing, right? But, and we'll get to that later, but you're right. Fawad, I mean, that guy was a beast. That guy was going all over the place. I think he changed his shoes like 4 different times. He changed his bat 5 different times. He changed his stance 6 different times. This guy was just everywhere. And I really think that this guy tripped up the South African bowling because they could not get him out. 27 for 4, and you win this match quite easily. Guys and girls, we're going to go ahead and jump into this right away. Initial thoughts was fantastic. We will start with Gabe's choice. He's going to go first. He can choose any of the 3 that he wants to start with.
All right, so I'm going to start with what I liked. I'm going to try to start on a positive note because maybe the fact that I've been so negative, the cricket gods continue to punish me. So let me start trying to put a smile on my face, all right? And let me try to just be positive here. So what did I like? I got to say, South Africa's bowling in that first inning specifically, bro, they did their job. Like Nick said, 27 for 4, okay? Even when they went out 220 in the first inning, you figuring, oh, my gosh. But, dude, the bowlers did their job. 27 for 4. And in that first inning, I'm pulling up the numbers right now, but you already know who we're going to talk about. Rabada, all right? Ngidi. Them boys did their job. That first inning, them boys did their job. So I'm not even here it goes. Rabada, 27 overs, 7 maidens, all right? 70 runs. My man had 3 wickets, putting in work, cousin. 259. You're like, you got to be kidding me. And that first day, he had 3 of those wickets, all right? Real quick. My boy Ngidi, 17 overs, 1 maiden, 57 runs, 335 economy rate, 2 wickets, all right? Kashav, 90 runs, 278, 32 overs. You're going to say 90 runs, Gabe. 32 overs, though. My man was a bowling savage. 3 wickets. And then Norkia, he got a little bit expensive, almost 4 and over at 389, but still 2 wickets. Again, the bowling, especially in that first inning between Ngidi and Rabada and is it Kashav? Kashav, they did their job. So for me, that's what I liked. Even though our batsmen let us down and we went down for 220, our bowling still went out there and put in work. I realized, and so does South Africa, we're not going to put up 600 runs every game, cousin, all right? We can't count on Faf to put up 199 every first innings, all right? So we're going to have to win games both ways. And I seriously thought to myself, 220 all out, no problem. We just got 27. We just gave 4 wickets on 27 runs, cousin. Our bowling's gonna handle it. And then it didn't. Nick, what did you guys like? I'll go to you first.
I appreciate that, but I want to hear from the Pakistan fan first. So, Ozjan, you got the floor, my friend.
Right. What I liked was that fight back after that 27 for 4. Right. That was. And the best comparison I can make is, Cheteshwar Pujara in India, right? How he batted against, in Australia with India, right? The way he batted was absolutely brilliant, right? Slowed down the first session, and that's exactly what Fawad Alam and Azhar Ali did. Slow partnership. I think they only scored about 69 or 71 runs in that opening session. And then when they came back after lunch, they started to get a bit more quicker. Azhar Ali went quite quickly, but that's what I'm saying. Those partnerships he formed with Rizwan, who attacked a bit, Fawad Alam stayed there. He was the rock in that entire innings. And the way they came back from 27 for 4 to what? Like 378, right? 378. In the words of the great Gabe, they raked like anything. And it was just beautiful to watch. I'm sorry to use it, Gabe, but I had to because they did. They did a fantastic job. They fought back and they kept fighting. Their entire tail wagged, right? They kept going down to Hassan Ali, to Noman Ali, to Yasir Shah, 38 of what, 36, 37 deliveries. Came in and smashed Keshav Maharaj all over the place, smashed that 6 straight down the ground. Just that fight back was absolutely amazing. Another thing I really liked was the last about 10 overs of the third day, where Yasir Shah took that wicket of Van der Dusen. The entire Pakistani fielding team just rose up. The entire match they were going a bit, they started to get a bit lazy. South Africa were 175 for 1. And then just as soon as they thought a bit more aggressively, the new fielding configuration came in close in, took that catch at silly point, and then Yasir Shah did Yasir Shah things, took a couple of wickets, in total getting 3 on that day. Noman Ali coming into the action. And just the way Pakistan kept coming back, and that just made me really happy. You can tell from the expression on my face, I am absolutely ecstatic.
So real quick, Nick, before you jump in, I just want to jump on something that Hasjad said. First of all, for Wad, and I'll leave that for you, Nick, because I think you pointed out yourself, you made some comparisons between him and another player on the Indian team. I was like, am I even watching the right team? You know what I'm saying? Because he had that kind of performance, but I don't want to steal your thunder there. But one thing I did notice, Pakistan is known for bad fielding, right? But I saw aggressive fielding where they were taking away singles. They were saying, nah, you're going to have to hit a boundary. You're going to have to hit a 4. You're going to have to hit a 6 or whatever. And I think that for some teams, their mentality when they're fielding almost is too passive. They give up too many singles. They give up too many 2 runs. And then at the end of the day, they look up and say, oh my gosh, we're down 350. You know what I'm saying? Put pressure on the other team. Those dots build pressure, people. A lot of people say, oh, what's a maiden? What's a maiden? Give me 4 maidens in a row and see if guys aren't now really trying to stretch it. And like as I said at the beginning of the stream, playing shots they shouldn't be playing. 2 maidens, 3 maidens in a row, and guys start saying, oh, man, we haven't scored a run in 3 overs. Let's, take an unconventional shot or a risky shot, and then they get themselves out. So I'm glad you mentioned it there. I was impressed, even though I'm going for South Africa. What did I like on the Pakistan side? I like the fact that their fielding was aggressive. They took away a lot of those singles and said, you know what? Hit a 4, fine. Hit a 6, fine. But we're not going to let you bleed us to death with these singles, the way Australia let India do to them. And before they look up, they're like, oh, gosh, all those singles add up. It's simple math, people. They'll add up after a while. Just saying. Nick, what did you like, my friend?
I love your guys' thoughts. Those are all brilliant. And I didn't even notice the aggressive fielding, so good on you, Gabe, for noticing that. There's so much to like from the Pakistan side. So much to like. And again, I'm just glad I chose them, right? Because, I mean, it's such a much more enjoyable experience. There's so many moments in this match that I hope people paid attention to because it's inspiring. There was one point in the first inning, South Africa, they were like 100 for 1 or 100 for 2 or something like that. They were scoring quite at ease. And the wickets weren't falling, and it was just looking like it was going to go South Africa's way. And then some wickets started to fall. There was a point to 27 for 4 because I think they had, Ajak can correct me if I'm wrong. I think there was at one point, it was 150 for 5 or something like that in that first innings for South Africa. And then their tail was able to wag a little bit, and they got 70 from the last 5, which I was kind of impressed with. But when Pakistan jumped in there, 27 for 4, the failed experiment of my man Shaheen, who I'm still a huge fan of, not as a batsman, obviously, but I'm a huge fan of. When that failed, and I think, was that the end of the day, the end of the session, was a 27 for 4? It was 40 for 4? Yeah. So you end with that taste in your mouth. The most impressive thing was I was streaming, I think it was day 2, when you got my man, where's he at right here? Fawad, right? I'm going to make sure I get the name right. Alam. This guy, I'm watching the stream, and I think Gabe was with me on that one. I can't remember. But I think Gabe said, hey, Nick, they're asking about this guy's batting style. I did not even notice it was beautiful. This guy was jumping. He had his left foot first, and then he had his right foot first, and he was doing this and he was doing that. And then he took command. I don't know if this guy's a young guy. I don't know if he's a veteran player. I can see some captain in this guy. Asjad, real quick, is he young, old, in between?
He's turning 36. He's been left out of the side for 10 years. He is the highest scorer domestically for Pakistan, and in the top 5 best averages in first-class cricket in the world right now. It's Steve Smith, Hanuma Vihari, him, Virat Kohli, and then someone else I can't remember. So, yeah. He's huge.
And you leave this guy off your squad, not just that, and it worked out perfectly, right, for him. You put him at 7? I mean, this guy was a magician out there. He had the entire country on his shoulders saying like, oh, not again. It was only 220. We're at 27 for 4. And Fawad said, I got it. And he had a brilliant plan. And you got to give credit to Azhar Ali, the captain, as well. And I'm giving maybe too much credit to Fawad because the captain was out there for that brilliant partnership at first. But they had a great plan. They said, we're going to make them earn the next wicket. We are not going to give anything up. We are not going to be susceptible. They did Pujara mode, both of them. And it wasn't the prettiest cricket to watch when I love batting. But because I know more about cricket, I loved it because they could not allow that 5th. You couldn't allow the 4th wicket to fall, but you allowed that. You couldn't allow the 3rd wicket to fall that early. You've already done that. So what they did, and you got to give Fawad more of the credit because he outlasted 245 balls. Ali was fantastic with 151 balls. They said there's no way. And it was awesome because it was so obvious. Get to 100 before the next wicket falls. Then get to lunch before the next wicket falls. Can we get to 200 before the next wicket falls? I mean, it was just like bananas. The guy was brilliant. And I really do think he was making the bowlers a little off balance with his unorthodox style. I absolutely love it. That was a long one, but that's one thing I loved. And then my man, and you already mentioned him, but Naman. I say Naman with a little bit of, Australian accent. I don't know why. I just like saying it that way. This guy, as a spinner, he was having a field day. He was out there, and they had cooked his favorite meal, but no one else liked it on the field. And he said, you guys don't want it? I'll eat it all up myself right now because he was taking wickets left and right. And he had like a little humble celebration. This guy, I'm a huge fan of this guy already. And I think, again, Ozjod, hasn't this guy been waiting in the wings for a long time before he got this debut?
And 11 years as well, yeah.
Jeez.
Pakistan, how many more guys you have like this who can be Hall of Famers for crying out loud if you throw them in the match? And I know what you're going to say in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Nick, calm down. He's a debutant. Calm down. There's a reason why he wasn't picked for the squad. Well, I don't know the reason right now because look at the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. This guy was every time we said we need a wicket. How many times does Gabe say wicket alert, right? And it doesn't work out. Every time we said we need a wicket, Naman's like, I got you. There was a point. This is the last thing I'll say. It was fantastic. This is how awesome Naman was. There was a point where Pakistan dropped a catch, right? And Ozjod was trying to tell me it was a bad catch or a bad drop. But this is what I think was happening. Before he finished the sentence, the very next ball, Naman bowled the guy out. He said, I got you. He picked up that fielder literally.
I was live on for that yet. I was like, oh my God.
There was just so much to like. And Pakistan, they really showed up. Selection committee, give all of them a raise because these two guys were brilliant. They better be on the squad the rest of the year.
You know, it's funny, right? You mentioned I was on the stream when both those moments happened. First, Fawad, and I even said to you, blasphemer, because Nick's like, man, Fawad looks good out there. Look at that. This is Pujara-like. And I was like, blasphemer, how dare you? Okay, shut up, Gabe. 109 for 245. That is Pujara-like. You know, at the time, it didn't look like it. Yeah, he was defending like Pujara, like he was a wall back there. But I didn't expect this. You got to be kidding me, man. And then, yeah, it was mid-sentence. I don't know if I was watching it but the drop happens, and it was like, this is what Pakistan is known for. Here come the drops. And then he bowled them clean. Like, you know what? Let's just make sure we get the wicket that we need.
And it was probably the prettiest ball I saw the entire day. It was a fantastic ball.
Oh, man. You know what? Those are some great points. Now let's get to what I hated. I got to go there. First and foremost, let's talk about the batting, okay? Let's talk about the batting for South Africa. Did they waste it all in Sri Lanka? All right, I'm just saying, bro. Listen, all right, we had one guy in the first inning, one guy, Elgar, one guy go above a half century, 58. Listen, Markham, 13. All right, dismissed on a silly shot. 17 for Dwesson. Faf, Mr. 199 in his last game. 23, that's what he got his first innings. Quentin the Cop, 15. Captain, really? The ship is sinking and you go down with everybody else? You don't even. Oh, dude, it was like
he's got to say it for Mumbai in those championships, game.
Nick, the third. I'm sorry, Lindell. Lindell got 35, and then Rabada, fourth highest scorer at 21. Rabada, he's a bowler. He's not even. He doesn't even pretend to be an all-rounder. They handed him the bat, and he didn't know what in the hole. He said, "Hold on, which way to go?" He didn't know what in the hole. Rabada, are you serious?
He went to the YouTube tutorial on how to hold the bat.
He said, "Hold on." He busted out his phone. Let me check this. Which way am I supposed to hold this bat? Dude, it was that bad. Second innings, bro. Honestly, Markham 74. Then we got a 64 out of Dwesson. Everybody else, with the exception of Buvama, who got 40, 2, 2, 1, a duck for Norkia, 3 for Ngidi. And Ngidi said, look, he said, no joke. And Giddy said, I'm not a batsman. He looked like he was uninterested in swinging. He said, I'm a bowler, man. If five ain't hitting, what makes you think I'm a hit? The batting was atrocious. 220 in the first inning, 245 in the next inning. Come on. Are you kidding me, guys? This is a team that put up 600 in one inning? Really? Don't tell me subcontinent pitch. I'm sorry. Isn't Sri Lanka? They played in Sri Lanka the first one. Isn't that also subcontinent? No, step up your game. Oh, it's so bad. And then my last question is, and I forget his name. I know you'll know right away. Why did they leave off the spinner that bowled really well in Sri Lanka? What's his name? Remember he got those 3 wickets at the end.
Shamsi?
Yes. Why'd they leave him off?
Back spasm. He got a back spasm. He was supposed to play. So Ngidi played instead of him. Yeah.
Because I'm like, why? What's going on here? But man, the batting was just abysmal. And honestly, I'm not trying to be like, after you saw the Sri Lanka performance, I wasn't even worried 220 all out. I said, plus I said, it's Pakistan, 27 for 4. I saw the epic collapse going. Bubba Azam's already gone. It's over. All right. I was eating my popcorn. I was calling the bookie like, yo, can I get that check a little early? Psych. Oh my God, bro. You can't make it up. South Africa. The only thing that made me feel better is that now I don't feel so bad that the West Indies got smacked the way they got smacked. And I'm like, I guess unless you're India, you're not going to be consistent. And even India, if you think about it, 36 all out. I think that's the thing about tests, right? From test to test, bro, you see Jekyll and Hyde with these teams. You know what I mean? Like it's. I'm telling you right now, England has looked so good their last test. If England comes in and gets destroyed by India, I'm gonna feel better about my West Indies because I'm gonna be like, all right, well then, you know what I'm saying, like being honest or whatever. Because I expect
misery loves company.
Yes, misery loves company, Mitch. Nick, I'll say it right now. I want everybody to be miserable along with me. Yes, all West Indies fans want everybody else to be miserable as well. Period. But man, the batting looked bad. You know what's so bad? Just last night. Was it last night? Yep. Just last night, my boy John Campbell scored 44. Anyone who did not score 44, anyone that did not score 44 on South Africa in either inning should be embarrassed of yourself. John Campbell batted better than you. Just take a step back.
The drive-bys continue for John Campbell. This poor man. I mean, don't worry, John Campbell. I got your back. Now, Gabe, you don't got to lie to make friends, okay? There's no way you're on the phone with your bookie saying, get my check ready. Because you know you owe him so much anyways that what you would have won did not cover your past losses. So get out of here with that. How'd that Super Bowl match go? Huh?
I'm not on. I haven't been on credit for years. I got to pay up front because I can't. My credit lines was expired years ago. I put in a bet.
How many times have you tried to convince Savannah to put in the title, the deed to your house for the collateral? Let's be honest. What did I dislike from the Pakistan side? All right. So when I first started watching their second innings and they just needed like 80 runs, 87 runs, 88 runs, I'm sitting there watching it and I was like, okay, Imran Butt, he's getting himself a few boundaries. I liked. I think he like back-to-back boundaries at one point. But how in the world do you have in the first and second innings? And let me double check. I don't know double checks. I already know. How do you have in both innings where Imran Butt, Abid Ali, and your captain, Babar Azam, they don't come through with you. Babar Azam got 30 off 39. So you're going to say, Nick, that's pretty good. Yeah, they were chasing 87 for crying out loud, and he still got LBW. How in the world in that first innings does your tail end do by far and away better than your opening partnership and your number 4, your captain? How does that happen, for crying out loud? That is what I did not like. This match, you don't have confidence. You don't have confidence in the right places going into the second match. I think it's just a 2-match test series. They got to sweep this if they want to have a prayer at looking somewhat decent in the standings. I don't think they're going to have a chance to go to the Test Championship, but at least to look better in the standings, because right now it's them, West Indies, and South Africa fighting for that 5 spot right now. How do you have any confidence when your 1, 2, and 4 can't get you more than like 70 combined, 60 combined, 27 for 4? If you want to throw Shaheen in there, it's not really his fault. He's not known for his batting skills. How do you allow that to happen? And you have no confidence going forward. Luckily, Babar Azam, he's a young kid. He's got some swag. He's going to be okay, because he's like, what is Nick talking about? I'll just go bust a century right now because people love me. I'm not sure about the opening partnership. Is there a chance? Let me get these names real quick because I don't want to mess it up. Is there a chance that they decide, you know what, for match 2, for inning 1, we're going to open with Yasir Shah and we're going to open with Ashraf? We're just going to go for that right now because these guys did better than other opening partnership did. That's what I did not like. I also, I didn't mention Yasir Shah and what I liked. He was fantastic as well. He got himself some serious wickets, early wickets when they needed those in the second innings, and he put up 38 off 37, just in case you weren't paying attention. But what I did not like in addition to that was some of the bowling, okay? Shaheen Afridi, this guy is the horse. This guy is like your Boomerang, your Ishant Sharma. This is your guy. You have Yasir Shah as a spinner. You have Shaheen Afridi as the pace. This is your guy, and he loves to take himself some wickets. He needs to show up. But think about that, South Africa fans. Think about that. Shaheen Afridi wasn't on top of his game. Let me make sure the first innings was he wasn't too glowing there either. He got 2 wickets, all right, but he had a high economy rate. Your Shaheen Afridi wasn't on top of his game. The opening partnership was on top of his game, and a man named Babar Azam, who's like the future, people say, was on top of his game. What are you going to do when they all show up next time? Oh, my, talk about 600 runs, Gabe. Wow. That's what I did not like. Ozjan, clean us up, please.
So you touched on everything. You touched on everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you both sides. I'm not going to just tell you what I didn't like about Pakistan, right? But all in all, I think for Pakistan, I didn't like the fact that they still dropped 5 catches. I was waiting for Gabe to do it, but I'll do it. 5 catches. How can they drop 5 catches, right? Compared to, yes, 1 innings, they drop 7 in New Zealand, fine. But they've improved. Their fielding is really good, but they still dropped 5 catches in the entire match. That's not possible. That shouldn't be possible. That's something that should be literally written down in their mark book to say F on, okay? This is what they need to improve. Their ground fielding was great. They were diving and everything, but still, their catches weren't that good. They dropped catches. Some were difficult, but some were quite easy. Yasir Shah in the slips, dropped one straight, came into his hands. Hassan Ali, as you earlier mentioned, skied it. Easy catch. Even I could take it, and he missed it, okay? That's something that I was just not happy about. Another point I want to mention, you mentioned Babar Azam not performing. You mentioned the openers. Imran Butt's debut, right? This is Imran Butt's debut. This is his first game. And he did not look like a guy made for Test cricket. That's my personal opinion, okay? From what I can see, in that second innings, he looked like he was gaining confidence, but he's just waved at that one that was really wide. Like, he has a mindset. His first-class average is about 36. There are so many better players than him in the sheds, but they're not in the squad, right? You have Shan Masood, they dropped because they wanted to bring in Imran Butt, right? He's not done much either. Shan Masood was dropped because he got 4 ducks or 5 ducks in like 8 matches, okay? Or 8 innings. He came in and he didn't score much either. So Pakistan has to really concentrate on that opening slot for 100%. Babar Azam, you already mentioned. One bowler I actually want to mention is Hassan Ali, right? This is his comeback. He hasn't played for Pakistan in about 2 years. And his bowling in the first innings, he went at 6 and over in his first spell in a test match. I don't know if you were on this. I think you guys were on the stream somewhere. Like I said, it's like they're thinking he's a T20 bowler right now, right? They're smashing him all over the place. 31 runs in 5 overs in a test match, right? Absolute bonkers. And fine, he came back. In the first innings, he didn't do a good job. Like, he did not. Shaheen Afridi is exhausted, so I can let him off because he's played pretty much every game Pakistan's played since July. He's had 0 breaks, right? Hassan Ali, this is his first game back for Pakistan, and he didn't show up, in my opinion. I think he just didn't show up. Yes, he was a bit slow with his pace as well. And the last thing I didn't like, and this is for South Africa, I didn't like that Nortje, right? The entire first innings, he didn't realize that, oh, I should bowl at the stumps. He was bowling just outside off stump. There's so much variable bounce. He finally learned something in the second innings. But in that first innings, he was bowling outside off and just started to bounce or bowl deliveries easily left. Like, they can easily leave it, especially when you got Fawad Alam, Azhar Ali. Fahim Ashraf started smashing him as well, right? So one thing I was really disappointed with, I was excited to see Anrich Nortje bowling those 90, 95 mile an hour deliveries. And he did bowl those, but they weren't on target. He didn't get any benefit from it. So yeah, that's what I didn't like.
That was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I'm gonna jump right to what you just mentioned as to what I just learned. And here it took Nortje a while to figure out, right, that this pitch. And Simpala, it's actually Simpala I was talking about with South Africa. He's also a medium pacer, right? Fast pacer. Ngidi, Nortje, Rabada. These guys are all, fast bowlers or medium pacers. It makes such a difference to have those spinners and to have guys that understand the pitch, because the pitch looked atrocious. Let's talk about that pitch for a second. There were so many cracks on that thing, dude. It looked like the Grand Canyon. There were cracks everywhere, all right? It was ridiculous, bro. And some of the spins, some of the bounces that the balls took off of there, I don't know why. Maybe it's because they just don't have the conditions, but why more teams do not have reliable spinners that they can call on when they know they're going to have to go to a subcontinent pitches that you're going to need a spinner on. You know what I'm saying? England's a prime example. England at home is dominant, right? They got those guys with the seamers, a Stuart Broad, your boy Jimmy Anderson, my boy Jofra Archer, but their spinners, really? Dom Best, Moeen Ali, I'll smash him. I'll smash it. Okay, I'm not gonna smash Moeen Ali. Maybe I can smash Dom Best. Just saying. You know what I mean? Definitely. But I'm being serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it's in baseball. They always say pitching wins championships, right? It doesn't matter how good you are during the regular season, but if you don't got the pitching, you're gonna lose in the playoffs. All right, and that's the thing. In tests, yeah, you may be able to rake. You may be able to have a batting lineup that can put up 600. But if you give up 601, you're going to lose anyway, cousin. And that bowling is so important. And I have yet, maybe, Azjad, you're a better veteran than I am. What other team in the world, maybe Australia, because they got a really good spinner like Nathan Lyon, but has that good balance of pace and spin? Outside of Australia, what other team? Because that's something I've learned. You got to have it, because depending where you play, you know what I mean? The pitches are different. So your bowling is going to suffer if you don't have any spinners, or vice versa if you don't got any pace bowlers. What other team is built like in Australia where they can take their bowling anywhere?
India. To be honest, India. Because they've got the spin talent, they've got the pace talent. This is the thing. You probably noticed subcontinental conditions, they are built for spin bowling or for the old ball, for the ball to reverse swing. That's what I was talking about earlier. So that's what Hassan Ali could have used a lot better. Nortje could have used a lot better when they were bowling. And those types of conditions, you need someone with pace and you need someone who can spin the ball. So you need two separate bowlers, significant bowlers. India has that. India has Bumrah, Ishant Sharma, Mohammad Shami. There's a list, right? So I'll just name 3, right? And then with the spinners, they have Ashwin, they have Jadeja. That's their side, right? They have those players. Australia has Nathan Lyon. Australia has Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood. If Pattinson plays, then Pattinson as well. Okay. South Africa, New Zealand, and England don't have proper spinners. Okay. They have spinners who can do the job, Dom Bess got 12 wickets against Sri Lanka in the 2 matches, right? But at the same time, he's not the best spinner.
He was gifted 12 wickets.
I would argue that he's so good, he got a wicket when he wasn't even trying to get a wicket. That's what I would say.
So, yeah, I think that you need a spinner, honestly. In subcontinent conditions, if you don't have a good spinner, and we noticed that Yasir Shah and Noman Ali took 9 wickets in that innings against South Africa, right? 1 by a fast bowler, 9 of them by spinners. So, yeah, they're absolutely crucial. The only 2 sides I can think of, barring, Pakistan, obviously, now. But otherwise, I would have gone for India or Australia. They're the complete bowling attack.
Well, that's why and I'm going to use this as what I learned, is that these 2 young guys I mentioned and what I liked, they could be a serious game changer. And maybe I'm being too lofty. Maybe I'm being too naive. I don't know. But we're talking about Fawad and Naman, right? These 2 guys Fawad gives you a different presence. He's not going to be Pujara. Only Pujara can take 11 hits to the body and still outlast a million balls. Absolutely brilliant. But it wasn't just that. It was the fact that he was able to turn it on and increase the strike rate when he felt comfortable with doing so and selecting his shots. He could be a huge game changer. But Gabe talks about spin and pace, and so does Azjad do. Last time I checked, Pakistan has Shaheen and Yasir Shah. They're probably their 2 best bowlers. One's pace, one's spin, right? You throw a Naman out there when you're coming to Pakistan, when you're going to bowl, and if they play Sri Lanka, and if it ever happens, they play India, right? If it ever happens, then you have now a second serious spinner that people now have to account for. And I think the toughest thing in any sport, doesn't matter what it is the game plan, making sure that this star does not beat us. Let's let Hassan Ali beat us, but we can't let Yasir Shah beat us. We can't let Shaheen Afridi beat us. And now they got to worry about Naman on the batting side, Fawad. So I learned that Pakistan, even though they're still filling out their team, even though they're right now, I think they're currently at 5 with this win, they're not a team that, in my opinion, possibly is too far away from, giving some serious matches to those top 3 teams. They may not be that far away. That's what I learned in this match. I also learned even more so, because we didn't really see it in India, Australia, that these teams, they love to take advantage of their home pitches, do they not? They know how to play at home. They love it's like, yes, please come to my backyard and I'll show you how to play this game. And so that was nice to see. Gets me even more excited for England and India. But anyways, that's what I learned. Azjad, what did you learn?
I learned quite a bit. First off, I learned that domestic players, they definitely need to be given more of a chance to play against international sides. Noman Ali is 34 years old. Fawad Alam is 35. Normally, that would be when they're retiring and they're just coming into the side. Most probably the next match, you'll see a bowler called Tabish Khan. He's 36 years old and making his debut for Pakistan, okay? So there's too many players that have not been given chances. And what I learned was, as soon as you give him a chance, what do? Fawad Alam's gotten 200s in 3 matches that he's played. Noman Ali gets 7 wickets in the match, becoming the second best Pakistani spinner on debut. He got 7 wickets. Fantastic. Took the first 5er in such a long time for someone on debut. That's what I learned. Exactly. With DRS, I learned that none of these captains know how to use DRS properly. Okay.
It's not just Tim Payne.
It's not just Tim Payne. Quinton de Kock just doesn't know. Babar Azam, this is his first game as captain. I understand that. Maybe he hasn't had that experience, but I think he has captained domestically, but they don't have DRS domestically. So that's why maybe he didn't know how to use DRS in the test conditions, but he's been captain of Pakistan for a year now in the other formats. This is his first test match for sure. And the last point is, last and final thing I learned, Yasir Shah can still bowl, and that's it.
Let me clean up one thing I said, because I did call Azhar Ali the captain at one point, and then I called Babar Azam captain. Babar Azam is the captain, so thanks for that. I want to clear that up. Also, how did none of us mention Quinton de Kock? I think you mentioned a little bit, Gabe, but this was a huge letdown for him. He was not able to, I think he combined for like 17 runs or something.
Atrocious, bro. Atrocious.
And then when Faf goes down in de Kock, so that's the other part of the argument that I had with if these 2 guys, if the opening partnership does better, watch out. If you got Faf and de Kock that show up, then watch out Pakistan. Those guys were huge letdowns, especially Takak as a captain. I think he's a newly crowned captain. Big disappointment there. We'll see what happens in the second match. Gabe, final thoughts, my friend.
Again, I think that for me, at one point early in the match, I was talking about how big South Africa had been playing, and I said, they may be the fourth or fifth best team in the world. Obviously, you got the top 3 dogs. You know what I mean? India, Australia, and England. And then, for 4 or 5, take your pick. I was saying New Zealand is up there, which most people would put New Zealand at 2. But again, somebody made a very good point. They haven't played away from home. And that's the point. Just like you were saying, Nick, let them play away from home so we can see who they really are, and let them play in somebody else's conditions. So realistically speaking, when you look at these teams, I'm going to go ahead and take it back to my West Indies. Yes, West Indies has been getting beat up, but a lot of teams have gotten beat up, okay? I saw Pakistan get beat up earlier this summer in Test, and now they're beating South Africa, which is beat up Sri Lanka. So, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of parity, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And, home field advantage is such a big thing. It's such a big thing. So, right now, again, I'm looking at this. I hope South Africa can at least even out the series so they don't completely lose the Test match, because that'll be a truly bad call. A team that I thought could be 4 or 5 in the world. Again, no disrespect to Pakistan, but if they drop games to Pakistan, then we got to have a conversation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, what's going on? What's going on?
But I think on the flip side, if Pakistan doesn't win the second match and if they don't whitewash it, I think Pakistan's going to be under some fire. Azjad was mentioning that, so I kind of stole his point on that one. But you would agree with that, right, Azjad, that it would not be good?
Yeah, so basically Pakistan cannot afford to lose any matches, even in the T20s. Otherwise, this management is out of here. This management has been so like this. There was a whole committee that sat down and they made a decision. This series will be your deciding factor. If we don't win basically everything, then there'll be another committee, and most probably the coach, the bowling coach, the batting coach, everyone offloaded.
But think about this. This is the same team that let Fawad sit down till he was 34. Didn't bring him in. This is the same. Do you even want them there? This is the same team. I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate. If I'm a Pakistan fan, I'm a Knicks fan. I rooted for many general managers and coaches to get fired because I'm like, you're not doing the job. Don't just do the job right now at the end. Look at all the guys that you just mentioned that haven't had a chance to play, and these domestic cricketers that could have helped this team but haven't been given an opportunity. So maybe you do want to change that. Just from my opinion, the way I look at it, maybe you do want to change that committee and those coaches. Just saying.
I'm just going to add something. Sorry to take your point, Nick and Gabe, but just want to say Pakistan has changed their management 3 times in 3 years. The selectors have changed. The coaches have changed. Like, it's madness, right? You know, the coach of Sri Lanka right now was the coach of Pakistan 2 years ago, and Pakistan was doing great, but they kicked him out because of whatever reasons. Don't want to go into that politics, whatever. Okay. Then the new coach came, the coach that is right now the coach of Pakistan, but he was also the chief selector at the time. And then he stepped down, but everyone knows he was told to step down. And the new chief selector came, who brought in Noman Ali, who brought in Tabish Khan, who you might see in the next game, who brought in Imran, well, not Imran, but some other players, 9 uncapped players in the Pakistan squad right now. Uncapped. They haven't played an international game, but been performing domestically at least for 3-4 years. Right? So this new chief selector has a better thing on his head, I guess, better thought process. But definitely, domestic players need to be given a better chance. And I don't want this coach to stay. And like, honestly, I'd prefer he goes and some international coach comes into the position that he's in with this coaching staff and kind of cleans the Pakistani team up. Because the biggest issue I've had is the Pakistani fielding since Mickey Arthur, the coach of Sri Lanka now, since he left the Pakistan side, the fielding has gone from here down to here, and today it came back here.
Gabe, here comes a big drive-by. Azjad's going to hate me on this one, but Gabe, are you suggesting match fixing? Sorry, guys. Here comes the dislikes if you're a Pakistan fan. Sorry. Nothing but love. Thank you so much for watching our 3 Wickets here. We love having Azjad in here. There's so many things that I could have added that to the list of things I learned, all the things that Ozjod just mentioned. There he is in this episode. Thank you so much for the extra information. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you've not done so yet. Don't forget to check out Cricket for Us 2.0 if you have not done so yet. Thank you so much for always joining us. And, I mean, it's just so much fun. This was a great first match. We'll see what the other match has to do. With all that being said, be nice to each other, be kind, and let's get some good cricket going on. Until next time.
That's 6 runs.